Klam, and you're at Gap Ranch Supply right now. We're going to give you a quick tour, kind of what we got going on here in our little small town of Cranfills Gap. But we guess we've been in business now. In October we had our 10-year anniversary, and hey, it's kind of a small deal. Like I said, you can drive 20 miles either way and get to more stores and more feed stores, things of that sort. So we just try to do a lot for our local people, and luckily we got a lot of loyalty here and a lot of guys that farm and ranch, so it keeps us going pretty well. We try to carry a little bit of everything to keep these guys going on the ranch. They get a water trough down or need some gates or thing similar to that, and carry some bulk here for bulk cubes and deer feed. We've got some high fence ranches around here too that we can fill deer feeders and try to get those guys the best cost they can on their cubes and try to make their bottom line work out as well. Same deal, carry a handful of hay pretty much all year, coastal hay for some customers. Just got some horses around, things of that sort. And one of the things we got into the past couple of years is started getting the fertilizer and carrying some bulk fertilizer this time of year. Like right now, we getting all the rain that we need for sure. Hard to keep up, but fortunately we got quite a few guys around here that bale hay and have fields, so makes it a lot easier for them to come in and get fertilizer and not have to drive up. The closest part would be about 20 miles from here. Road's pretty rough, but so try to offer that convenient service for them guys to just come right here and be able to get their fertilizer out in a timely manner too. And so that's been pretty good. We'll keep going on with that deal, but we same deal.
Got some firewood even.
Yeah, I did pretty good with that this year. The past 2 years we had snow apocalypse one year, and then next year was pretty bad. This year was not too bad, but still had some cold deals. We sold a couple loads of firewood, and they folks would come in and be like, "Man, I've got dead trees everywhere, but I don't want to cut it." And that's what I was like, "I don't either." So they come by. It looks a lot better when it's just all chopped up and wrapped up, ready to go.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, for the price, for sure." But and carry our lick tubs and come in mineral and salt. And
what all different brands of feed do y'all carry?
Right now we really deal with Gorman Millen and that Golden Oak there out of De Leon. They for a small store like ourselves, their freight's very reasonable, and they carry quality feed. A year or so ago, I guess it's been maybe a couple of years now, when we finally saw the diesel increase to $5 here, here locally and around, man, it changed a lot of stuff. We were, especially like through Cargill, we're a Cargill dealer, and man, they had it where you could only buy trucks at a time and shut down like the Temple plant, things of that sort. So it got pretty wild there as far as like trying to keep your freight down and your costs down. Of course, at that same time, all the feed kept going up, and we were seeing prices on stuff that, shoot, I could sell a bag of cubes during the winter and contract all that and sell it for, $8.95 a bag, and it just now dropped below $14 now. Over the past 3 years, it's just kept increasing, and finally for those ranchers, they're starting to pay for them calves now, and that's helped out people a lot for sure. And coming off that 2-year drought, it's just been a puzzle trying to keep it all together and keep your costs down for everybody. And like I said earlier, just a lot of people have to look at that bottom line too. Want quality for
and try to keep this business profitable.
Well, yeah, keep the doors open here and things of that sort. We farm and ranch as well, and so I get both sides. I got to pay for it and I got to buy it, and from one end out the other, and so I see it. But it's been a cool business. Never thought, when I graduated college and all the stuff we did, rode horses forever, like that, I'd own a feed store at some point. It's kind of kind of just so happened. But it's been kind of a cool business. Learn a lot about a lot of things. You know, we've in this small deal. You got to take advantage of every little aspect that you can. You know, for sure. But same concept. We carry a little bit of everything for these guys. If tractor breaks down, or hitches, or grease and oil, and carry medicine for them guys to be able to work the cows and wormer. And hard to carry it all.
Yeah.
So I tell folks sometimes, they're like, "Man, you got a piece of PVC that's like this," and I was like, "Man, if I even started trying to carry all that, I'd have just a there's like a never-ending deals. I mean, you had to go to Ace for all that. It's like break a little 3/4 line or something, I can help you out, but things have changed here in the past 10 years. They're building all around. I got guys that are starting to come in now that are these builders that are needing this and that. So I imagine probably here before long we'll have to maybe start carrying some different things, you know, that'll help those guys too. But
How long you been in business here?
man, we just like I said, we just did our 10-year anniversary back in October. When
What made you want to open this? What made you want to become a business owner?
well, we've always been between my wife and I. We've always been entrepreneurs. You know, she's in the real estate business, and her and her mom own a brokerage company here, selling ranches, and that's how originally this deal got started. It's been a feed store here for ever. Um, we they ended up purchasing it for a real estate office, you know, to have a kind of a central hub, you know, in town,
Mm-hmm.
you know, office store, and it was already kind of established. A guy was just opening it like 3 days a week and things of that sort. So when they got in here for that part, they opened it 5 days a week, like I said, did all the decorations, just amped it up and made it look like real, you know, full time store, you know, basically. And there was a guy that was working here, and he'd been working here from the previous owner as well, and actually a couple owners, and they he ended up kind of moving on after fact. And she walked in one day and was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to go up there and help Chris. He's gonna be out for a couple days." I was like, "I don't know anything about a cash register or like, I can sell the feed, talk to folks, you know." And she's like, "Well, I don't know. We don't have anybody else go up there." I was like, "All right." So we went up there, and he kind of showed me how to do some stuff. And it wasn't probably a few months after that he was like, "I gotta go. I gotta quit. You know, I need to go do some other things." She was like, "Guess you got a feed store. They bought another building over here. They're like, here you go. Here's the keys." I was like, "What?" So kind of got it by default, really. You know, I didn't wake up one day and I was like,
Wasn't
I
your
think a
dream?
feed store is a way to go for sure. But like I said, over 10 years, I've learned a lot about it. I mean, it's good dealing with people. You know, I'm kind of a service oriented type person, whether it be, you know, riding horses and having a product for somebody with that aspect, or, you know, somebody coming in here and saying, "Hey man, I need this. Can you get that?" "Yeah, let me help you." And you know, them being happy when they
Just
leave.
looking to
Or
help people.
exactly, yeah.
What's been some of the biggest lessons and some of the biggest challenges in the last 10 years you've learned through owning a business?
Yeah, the paperwork, organization
Yeah.
is a lot. The money's in the pennies.
Yeah.
You know, I learned that from a guy like kind of early on, and you didn't think, "Oh, don't, you know, forget that." You know, "Oh, we broke that bag of feed," or, "Oh, we're missing that," or, "We sold the person one too many." And now I'm like, man, those bags of feed over a while add up, you
Right.
know. And of course, with any other business, whether it be this one or obviously any others, you know, the cost increase of everything the past few years has been hard. You know, the electricity's been going up, insurance on things, you know, fuel
Mm-hmm.
went up, so now all your freight goes up, and all the commodities went up, and seems like it's always something, you
And
know.
I
But
know it's hard because I've dealt in some feed myself, and it's hard to. There's already not that much margin there. It's not like
mm-hmm.
an apparel product or some other kind of product where a lot of times those companies are making 200-300% on them, and here you're talking about very small margins. So when you break a bag of feed on a pallet, there goes a lot of your profit right
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Yeah, exactly right.
And then especially of farmers and ranchers, we're going to bitch about the price, try to beat you down as much as
mm-hmm.
we can, get it for as cheap as we can, shop it
Yeah.
around. And so you've got to stay competitive, and like you can't. There's just not much room there to play. So.
Yeah, like I said, there's you can drive 20 miles and be at a feed store somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a lot of those have been established and they're a lot bigger type feed stores, so they can order more, so they get cuts, on their ordering capacity. Being here with the facilities that we have, it'd be hard to go build what you kind of need and then try to pay all that back. So that was another lesson learned, like business wise, just like you know, okay, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to work with what we have. So we have limited rooms. We can order a little, and that was kind of like dealing with Red Chain and Gorman and them. They understand that, and
So
you
you don't
can
have to
call up
order and
there
stuff
and
like.
you can all use like all these little things that your little bird seed for the lady over here and this and that. You can call them and be like, hey, I need 5 bags. I need a ton of that or 20 bags of that, and they're very good to work with. Which some of those bigger companies, like I mentioned, like Cargill, they're a little bit more like, hey man, if you order, you need half a truck to a truck. And it's like, man, it'd take me 6 months to sell it. Feed me bad by the time I can do that, And so that's been a hard thing too, is just trying to, you want to carry everything for everybody, but
Yeah.
you just can't.
With logistics and everything just doesn't work out
It's
all the
just
time.
hard. So you just kind of got to stay in my lane over here and just, just work kind of how it is and help everybody the best you can with what you can get, for sure.
So we have you set up for credit card processing here with Diversified Payments.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about. I know you had some stories about like when you first got started, and then there was some issues, and then you switched companies, and now you switched to us. And
Oh man, dude, these freaking credit card people. I swear, like, this makes the deal or not. I got to tell you a story because I didn't tell it to you last time. So she pulls up in like this ghetto-looking like Chrysler Sebring, and I had an older gentleman here working for me, and he's pretty intuitive about stuff. So she comes in, and she's gonna tell me, she's gonna give me all this like, man, I can 0%, and man, we'll only charge you this much a month. We're gonna switch you over, and then it's contract. You know how it all goes, right? And I'm like, okay. So they give you a stack of papers. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna read them. I don't know. Bottom line, if I don't want you, can I get out of this? Oh yeah, But well, he comes in, he's like, dude, like her tags are out of, they don't even match the car. And I talked to you about that. They're still charging me for a month. I got to go to the bank, and I was like, this is the worst deal ever.
yeah.
I got in with some more folks that were a little better. Still the same deal. There's something in those clauses that'll just catch you. So I got out of those, and then over those like few years, the credit card deal changed a bunch. I mean, people come in and pay with like, this is something else I had to learn when you're looking at the pennies. It's still, it's costing us $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 a year is what they would charge us percentage wise to use the credit cards, things. That's what I was like, man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
One of them approached me like, hey, why don't you just pass that on to the customer? Well, I ran that by a couple of people that came in. Of course, being small town old school, they're like, no, that's just robbery. And I'm like, man, I feel like I'm getting robbed.
Yeah.
Guess we're just gonna hold guns at each other on this deal. So I didn't do it for a couple of years, and then the company I had before you'd come in, they said, hey, we can do it. We just set up as 3% and just tell them like, well, by this time, going back to what I was talking about, like the Cabela's cards and all those reward cards and the airline deals, like they was just charging. The interchange rate was getting worse and worse and costing me more and more. And I was like, I can't do this no more. This is, if y'all want to have these cards now, all these Amex cards and Cabela's cards and Southwest Capital One credit card, all this stuff where you can go fly free. Somebody's paying for it. You know what I mean? Most times me. And so we work with them, but even then the customer service was a deal that these guys would come in. I had that guy would come in like once a month for like 6 months. And we finally switched over. After we switched over, I never saw that dude ever again in my life. He was good too. He was a smooth man. He was like, he'd come in like he'd buy a panel or he'd buy like a bag of feed or something. He's like, yeah. And anyway, never saw that guy again. So when you called and said you were doing it, I was like, I told you the whole deal. I was like, man, I want to be able to call somebody on the phone or somebody at least come by and say, hey, what's up? Is everything good? And which we had a little run in the other week.
Yeah, you had an issue with what was it saying? It wouldn't connect to the host or something like that. We had a couple calls with support. It was going in and out. We thought we had it fixed. It didn't. Went through some more calls and ended up switching it to Wi-Fi from Ethernet, and then been smooth.
Yeah, come to find out the wire was bad, but the terminal's working. But like I told you when we started, I was like, I'd rather work with somebody I know, and that's a lot of the way kind of small town deal works. if I had to pay more to work with somebody I know, but I can get somebody over here to fix it, or get somebody on the phone that cares, not
Yeah.
just be, hey, I'll call you back later. Yeah, let me see. Well, in the meantime, like we had 5 or 6 tickets that were just taped to the board up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to go track this person down. The person working here is freaking out. They
Yeah.
rerunning. Inventory's off. I don't know what's going on.
I know, and I mean, you can call or text me, and I usually answer immediately.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Then it's kind of, it depends on the issue, but hopefully we can get it fixed right then. If not, at least we're working on it.
Yeah,
So
exactly. No, it's been good. And that terminal's more updated, and people, obviously technology's been getting way more updated. That one's updated, so I can send links. I've got a lot of customers that have ranches down here that don't live here. They live in Dallas, live remotely or something. So, a lot of the stuff goes through billing, up there in their businesses or however it
yeah,
goes. But
corporate ranches and stuff.
yeah, so I can get on that deal and send a link to those guys, or get on the email now and send the email even through the terminal, and it's been a lot easier, a lot faster to get
Instead
money.
of having to
Oh,
wait for a check to come in or for them to come by,
oh
or
yeah,
back
snail
and forth,
mail, and yeah. Well, I didn't get it. The
yeah,
postal service is fouled up, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, you ride. They have accounts because they have guys that work there, and it's just easier. So we keep track of that and bill out monthly statements. But it's like they ride it for 30 days, and now it's 45, and you got to wait to get your money back to roll it all in. So any little hiccup in that line, sometimes it kind of causes a little
yeah,
friction.
especially when you're operating on small margins like we talked about on the feed deal, like
Mm-hmm.
net 30, net 60, net 90, whatever it is, like, and then somebody goes overdue, then you're out a bunch of money for that feed, and you're like, hey, when's that money coming
Yeah,
in?
well, and that goes back to what you're talking about, like the changes, and that I was mentioning. Once when that fuel got up there and stuff was getting tight and feed was creeping up, I knew it. I told that guy I was working there. I said, "You watch, there'll be this old, this old. Hey, we know you're small business. We'll 45 days, or you can kind of catch up and kind of lead them along like people lead you with the accounts, not
Mm-hmm.
on purpose, but just how it flows with your business." I was like, it's fixed out the window. I bet they're going to be either COD or they're going to want their money, like somebody calling, and it did.
Yeah.
They were getting stricter as it went down the line. So we had to get more organized even further, and be able to find a way to appease those people, but get your money as fast as you can as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's tough right now too. I hear a lot of people talking about the economy and these business owners and these charity deals we go to and fundraisers and stuff. Everybody's kind of tightening down, not
Mm-hmm.
spending as much money. So now I mean, you got to cut costs as a business owner, cut costs, and like you said, just really tighten up. If you can save money on card fees, if you can pass that fee along, save 10, 12,000 a year or whatever, like for a little business like that, like this here,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that means a lot.
I mean, it'd be the difference in like, hey, do I keep doing this or not? You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, I want to sell that lady some wild bird feed, but I really don't want to sit up here all day for all
For
that
free.
for free. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
that's what.
at the end of the day, sometimes, I mean, I've done stuff like this before. It's like if I make 10,000 a year off of running a business, I mean, that's good. Sometimes it's just a break even.
Yeah,
You spend
sometimes you're
all
right.
that time, and then at the end of the year, you don't have anything to show for it.
No, you're like, what am I doing up here? Right? What are we doing? Yeah, but you just kind of keep plugging along, make it work for how make it fit in your life and how it all goes, and it's with that
Yeah.
does good.
Any big changes or anything in the future for Gap Ranch? You see, y'all are going to carry anything else? You're just going to kind of keep it simple like it is.
Yeah, I mean, simple's better for especially around here.
Mm-hmm.
Like our deer feed, or like during deer season, things of that sort. We do get a lot of traffic through here. A lot of people are hunting, Hamilton and West and East, and like they've learned to come by here. So it's most time, they can get right in and get out. They don't have to stop up there and wait in line at maybe some of those bigger stores or traffic. And
Mm-hmm.
so we've picked up a lot there. So like our deer protein, and we got it with T-Box, and they've done a lot of stuff for us too, and bringing some blinds in and letting us have an opportunity to sell them and show them and things of that sort. And not just like some of those companies are like, oh, you want to sell deer blinds? Okay, well, I got to bring you $20,000 worth of deer blinds. Good luck. I'll need a check in 60 days. And you're like, wait, hold on a second, man. Like, but, you know, the just introducing things as we kind of have to introduce things as it comes along, you know, like the fertilizer. If there's a need for it, then I find a way that I can create the business. You know what I mean? Create the deal.
Yeah, you just communicate with the guys around here and kind of see what they need, if they need something else, and just kind of try to cater to them.
That's right. I mean,
you can make it work.
Yeah, you go buy another $15,000 overhead bin so you can put 2 more feeds in there, so you can get on Facebook and tell everybody, look at all the feed I got over here, and you know you're selling a little bit at a time. Like next thing you know, it's you're like, I've got so much money tied up. I'm so upside down, you know. And so there's definitely a fine line in some of that stuff for sure, you know. And kind of, you know, you want it to look like it's all, we got everything, but it's just sometimes don't work out that way.
You know? Yeah. Well, y'all check out Gap Ranch Supply if you're around Cranfills Gap. Stop in. Klam will probably be in here. If not, somebody else will be. They'll sell you something, some kind of feed, some kind of merchandise.
That's right, something.
Sell you a coat. Y'all stop by and check them out.